All right, guys. Good morning. So for today, we're going to discuss the sheet work that we have just done last previous meeting, okay, or last Tuesday. All right. So let me just open my Excel file. So before that, let us just read the problem first that was needed. Okay. So the question number one is about product win, product mix, or maximization. All right. Here tells us a factory produce product A and product B, which is the main source of data. For each unit, all right, for product A, requires 2 hours on machine 1 and 1 hour for machine 2. For unit B, we have 1 hour for machine 1 and 2 hours for machine 2. Okay, it also tells us here that machine has produced 100 available hours and machine 2 has an 80 hours available. All right, so the profit, okay, so remember A is equal to $30 and B is $40. So here are the tasks that you need to do for the Excel file. Okay, so as you can see here, for M1 and M2, okay, you can always use the format that I always give you, okay, which is to put the two main data vertically aligned from each other or horizontally aligned to each other. Okay, so yeah, so just so you don't have to follow this, but you can always use the what we always do here in the management finance. All right, so here are the constraints. So we have the constraints of machine hour is greater than less than 100, and machine two use hour use is at greater than less than 80, and unit of less than 0. So here are the questions. Number one, what is the optimization product plan for unit A and B? Number two, what is the maximum profit? And number three, how many machine hours are left unused slack? All right, so let's do this. So first things first, let us open the Excel file. All we have to do is to input all the data. And then, remember, this is the product A and product B. So you can see it here, right? Yeah, here, right? The profit per unit. Okay, and then we have the unit produced. You can see it all here. All right, if you read the first question, okay, and then this one is also data here. Okay, you can see it here. Okay, so all you have to do is to set the formula. Okay, remember this will be our changing cell, so leave it blank. But remember to put the color coding. Always put yellow because this is the changing cell. For the here naman for the objectives, always put color orange because this represents the objective of the data. Okay, so remember the formula to get the sum product. All you have to do is to get the product unit, all right, comma, and then the unit produced. Okay, so product unit, and then the unit produced. Okay, so this is the formula for the sum product. As for the changing constraint, the formula is to get the sum product again. All right, you get to get the machine to the unit produced, all right, comma, and then get the machine one. Okay, same thing here then. Okay, all you have to do is to get the unit produced and then the machine two. All right, so once you get it, the data is all set. All we have to do is to go to data. Okay, once we go to data, let's click on solver. So this is the solver. Okay, so let me just reset everything so that everything will be placed so that you can see the answer. Okay, let me just put the objective. The objective is this one, the total profit. Always click max because max is what we are looking for. Let's go to the changing cell. So this is the changing cell. So let me just add also the constraint. So all you have to do is to click add. Okay, click this one. Then the constraint is at 100. Click add. Okay, then click this one again. And then the constraint is at 80. Then click add. Okay, you can always click on cancel so that we can go back to the main solver prompt. Okay, so this is the solver prompt like now as what you are seeing. So all you have to do is to click check to the make constraint variable to negative and then grg none. Okay, once everything is set, all the data is set, and all you have to do is to click solve. All right, so once you click solve, you can see all you have to do is to click OK. So remember, keep the solver solution. If we click this one, we will see the changes between the previous one to the solver. But if we click on restore the original value, the previous value will be restored from here. So all you have to do, I just want you to see the new value. So all we have to do is to click OK. So as you click OK, so as you can see here, the total profit is at 2,000. Okay, so yeah, so we already get the answer. So let us answer the question number one. So here they answer what is the optimization plan between unit A and unit B. So therefore, unit A, okay, is at 40. All right. And then, sorry. Okay. So then unit B is at 20. Okay. So that's the optimal production plan. For the maximum profit, so remember the maximum profit, okay, it's already there. The maximum profit is at $2,000. Okay, it's $2,000. Okay, we get it here. All right, for the machine hour left to be used, okay, remember, both of these machine are 0. Okay, all you have to do is to write on machine. Sorry, yan. Okay, so machine. All right, machine 1 is equal to 0, and then machine 2 equal to 0. So yeah, so this is the answer for number 1. All right, so let's proceed to problem number 2. Okay, so here this is a very tricky one. All right, in this problem, we talk about the transportation cost, and as you can see here we're not going to maximize the profit that was needed. Okay, what we need here is to minimize, we just get the minimum of the maximum from the data. All right, so a company ship goods for warehouses from warehouse 1 or W1 and warehouse 2. All right, they also have a market of M1 and M2. All right, so W represent warehouse, M represent machine. All right, W1 is for warehouse 1, W2 is for warehouse 2, and the M1 is for market 1 and market 2. All right, so here are some of the given data. Okay, W1 has a unit price of 50 units available, while W2 has a unit price of 70 available. While machine 1, market 1, they have a required of 60 units, and market 2 or M2 requires again another same thing as 60 units. So to write this in per unit, so as you can see here, warehouse 1 to market 1 is at 40, W2, okay, to M1 is 5, W1 to M2 is 6, and then W2 to M2 is 3. Okay, so this is the shipping cost per unit. All right, so to make a decision, remember this is the decision that we are looking for. We need to get the unit ship from W1 to M1, W1 to M2, W2 to M1, and W2 to M2. So these are the things that you have to consider. These are the things that you will put into your constraining portion or in your solver. All right, so to get the total cost sum bracket, so of course we need to get the sum product of the total units. All right, when we are using the solver, these are the following constraints that we need to input there. Okay, and of course the unit ship is at 0. Okay, so yeah, so please take note of this one. So that will be the constraint. So as you can see here are the question. Number 1, saying almost the same question. What is the optimal shipping plan? Number 2, the minimum transportation cost. And number 3, route used per ship is equal to 0. Okay, so to do this, all we have to do first is to write all the data. So as you can see here, all right, these data are the given data from M1 to W1, M1 to W2, M2 to W1, and M2 to W2. Okay, also here, that's what it also says that the supplies available is at 50 and 70. Okay, for the demand requirements, so we have the doors of 60 for each one, for for M1 and M2 pala, sorry, this is M1 and M2. So these are the demands required. Alright, so the demand met is still 0 because here you will put up the formula of the sum product. All you have to do is to get the changing cell of W1 and W2. Okay, and same thing here then dito kay demand net. All you have to do is to get the sum product of W1 and W2. Okay, so that's the formula. And then remember the formula here is to get the sum product between the shipping cost per unit, all right, and then the unit per ship. Okay, so sum product is equal to ship cost per unit and unit ship. Then close parenthesis. Okay, once the data are all set, all we have to do is to go to the solver. So all you have to click, let's click on solver. Okay, so the objective is the total cost. All right, changing cell. All right, this is the changing cell. All right, so here's the tricky one. So all we have to do is to remember the constraint. Okay, so let's go back. Wait lang. It's going to look on the formula. Okay, wait lang. All right, so to remember the formula, okay, Let's go back to solver. All right. So remember, if you, as you can see, if you can remember the given solver, the constraint is at C13 and C12. Then we have C9 and C10. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, wait lang. Okay, so yeah, let's do this. Okay, balik tayo doon. Okay, sorry. All right, so let's go to solver. Right-click the data. Okay, let's add the constraint. Okay, the first constraint is between the hours used. All right, then constraint here. Okay, that's the basic one. Another one, we have this one. All right, and then the constraint is here. Then add. Okay, so then these are the tricky ones. These are the new constraint that we need to add. Okay, so first things first. Let us do the other constraint. Okay, so let's do the. All right, so C8 to D9. Okay, C8 to D9. All right, constraint is at 0. Okay, 0. Right, and then we have so let's just click add other constraint. Okay, we have to do the SC13 and C12. All right, so let's do the C13. Okay, C13. Okay, is equal. Okay, equal to C12. Then click add. All right, and then we have S13. Okay, this one. All right, and then we have equal to D12. Okay, D12. Yeah, add. Okay, so to check the data if we are completed, let's see. Let's just click cancel. Okay, so we have here the constraint. Okay, so 13 and SD13. Okay, then SD8, SD9. All right, SD13 and SD12, and this one is okay. No, this one incorrect. Or let me just change this one to this is a minimum and click add. Okay. Yun. So yan, change na siya. Okay. All right. Once the constraints are all set, all we have to do is to click minimum. Okay. Remember this is a minimum data. Okay, check this one, GGG liner, and then click solve. All right, so once we click solve, so here is the correct answer. Okay, so the total cost is at 43,000. So let us type the answer here. So remember the total cost. Okay, so remember the shipping plan is at, the shipping, let me just put the answer here. Okay, so the shipping plan is at, okay, so W1, okay, to W1 to W2, 50. Okay, gawin muna natin. Yeah, so this is the shipping plan. Okay, and then for the maximum transportation, we have 430. All right, and for the maximum is 430. Okay, it's dollar for $430. And for the ship route, right, for the ship route, we have W1 to W2. So that's the best. So W1, okay, to W2. So therefore, yes, this is where we have the zip work number, zip work 2. Okay, so please don't forget to save your Excel file so that you can have your review or for your references. But anyway, you can always watch this video to come back for it. All right, so now, so let us proceed to our lesson for today. So for today, we're going to talk about the art of modeling spreadsheet. Okay, so please open your Excel file again because we will be using this today also. Okay, so let us do the topic for today. So chapter 3 is the art of modeling. So guys, if you open this in your ebook, it is chapter 7. But since it's our syllabus, this was put on the third part of our topic. So let us talk about the art of modeling of the spreadsheet. Okay, so please open your spreadsheet, okay, or open a new Excel file so that we can to do this activity. All right, so here are our objective for today. Number one is to describe the general process of modeling spreadsheet, describe the guidelines for building a good spreadsheet model, apply both general process and modeling in spreadsheet model for description of the problem. Number four, identify some deficiency in poor formulated spreadsheet. And number five, we have to apply a variety of techniques for debugging a spreadsheet model. So these are our objectives for today. Okay, so let us dive into this topic. So as you can see here, right now you are seeing a data. All right. So these are the data that we will be using for today. As you can see, this is the cash flow of the Everglade. Okay, this is the cash flow of the Everglade. So as you can see here, from the year 2024 and for the year 2023, they were able to project their net cash flow rate per dollar. So in 2024, they got -8, 25, -2, -4, 3, 6, 3, -4, 7, -2, and 10. Okay? So stay put guys. You will be typing this in your data, okay, later on. Okay? So let's go back. So let us proceed first with the other data that was given. All right? There is a short-term cash flow that is required, all right, that cannot be met without borrowing. Okay? Another given, a long-term of 10 years loan can be taken with an interest rate of 5%. Number three, a series of short-term loan can be taken with a projected rate of 7%. So these are the given data that was given to you. So the question here is, which loan or combination of loans should be taken in what amount in order to maximize the cash balance position after 10 years? So yan. So here are another clues. So we have 10 years as a long-term and we have to maximize the data. So these are other given from the Everglade cash flow problem. Okay, so let's dive in first how to create a good and perfect spreadsheet model. Number one, all you have to do is to plan. Okay, you have to visualize. All right, what is the objective? Why did you create this spreadsheet for? All right, what is the objective? Always look into the objective. Diba? Remember, when you create your business plan, you always look to the goal or the vision. So you look to the end to build your Excel file. Number two, you have to build up. All right, you have to start with small scale. So you have to get the short loans and long-term loans. Okay, and then once we have able to start with the small scale model, we can always expand for the model as a full scale. Okay, that's to build. All right, or sometimes we can start and test the Excel file that we just created. Same thing with expanding the model. So we can check it out to check the logic, to check if the solvers are accepting the data that was given. And lastly, the most important part here is to optimize or to solve or to analyze the spreadsheet that you have. Okay, guys, that's why we are doing the spreadsheet, is for you to make a decision and analysis by the end of the topic or by the end of your problem. Okay, while by the end you are solving a certain problem in an organization. Okay, so this is the process of modeling. So let us visualize first. Okay, diba? But I told you, let's go to the objective. All right. So when you plan, okay, you always start to you always wanted to think what is the beginning. So how do we start from the beginning? Is to start with the end. Okay, so because we are going to ask ourselves, how do I get started? So to get started, okay, you have to do what is the end? Okay, what is the objective? All right, what is the objective? If you learn an objective, that's the time you will be able to come up with a proper spreadsheet. Okay, what information do I need to provide in the report? That's other data that was needed. That's what given. What should the answer look like? Okay, what kind of numbers need to be included in the recommendation? Okay, these are the questions when you are planning the spreadsheet. All right, for the information needed in the Everglade cash flow problem, these are other information that was also given. Okay, there are also some given that will be given later on. Okay, so here's are the final report to be needed. Okay, what do you need in this data? So number one, you will be able to get the size of long-term loans. Number two, short-term loans, cash balance for each year, loan payment for each year, interest payment, projected net cash flow for each year and loan interest. So all of this will be seen in your Excel file. Okay? All of this will be seen in your Excel file. So to write your Excel, so that's the first planning part. Okay? So once you have able to determine the data that was needed, okay, ito yung mga final report that was needed, all you have to do is to go back to your output cell. All right? What is your objective? All right? You have to put the point to, which will be calculated by your hand. What is the most easiest part? Okay? You have to pick the numbers in your changing cell. Okay? And then to determine the results. And these are the other data that was given. Suppose that Everglade take 6 million long-term loans and add short-term loans for 2 million in 2024 and 5 million in 2020. So yan ha. So please take note. These are other data that was given to us. Okay? So how much is the cash that will be left at the end of 2024 and how much cash will be lent to the year 2025. Okay? So yan. So please remember this. Okay? These are given data. Okay? So this is the given data. So other data is ito pa yung mga other data. And then this one is the other data. Okay? So please take note. Yan yung mga other data that was needed in the Excel file. Okay? So first things first, before we start using the Excel file, I want you to please open your Excel file and please sketch this format. Okay? Once you sketch this format, we will put the data right after you increases the data. But once you already use this format, okay? Use this format, type it in your Excel file. So I give you 5 minutes to do it. All right. So I think you're already done. So let's proceed to the topic. So here are the given data. So okay. So let me just go to my Excel file and so that I can explain it to you step by step. Okay. So let me share to you my Excel. Okay. All right. So yeah. So what you are seeing right now is the given data. So as you can see here, these two, all right, that is the long-term and the short-term rate. Okay, sir, where did you get this? I get this from the data that was given. So in the data, they have 5% for long-term or for 10 years and then 7% for short-term. All right, the starting balance was also given to us by, okay, it was indicated 1. That will be our starting balance. For the minimum cash, it is also given at 50% or 0.5. Okay? So ito naman, excuse me. So as you can see here, this data was given to us, okay, during the first slide of my PowerPoint. Okay, you can always go back to the video, okay, from the very first start to see all the data that was written here. All right? So that hindi ka malilito. Okay? So now, so let's go back to our cell file. Okay? So for you to remember the formula, okay, so we have to do this one step by step. Okay? So first things first, all right, we need to learn the loan. So this was all, the given loan is at 6. Okay? That's the long-term given loan. All right? Also, in the given, they also give us 2 short-term loan, which is 2 and 5. Oh, guys, where did I get this? This was also given to us. Okay? In the last question, it was given to us at 2 and 5. Okay? Then, let's put all the zeros here. Okay? Because we still doesn't know the possible short-term loans in the long run. Alright? So, yan. So, this is the first thing. All of these are given data. What you are seeing right now are the given data. Okay? So, now, the next thing that we have to do is to do the formula. Alright? Let's do the formulation. Okay? So, to do this, alright, remember, to get the interest, the long-term, LT stands for long-term. To get the long-term interest, all we have to do is to put equals, alright, and then put negative, okay? Get the LT rate, this is the LT rate, okay? And then, times the long-term loan. Then, click enter. So, as you can see here, remember, put negative, alright, times the long-term loan, okay? Then press enter. This will be your long-term interest. Okay? So, para hindi malito, let me just repeat it again. Equals, let's put negative, alright, long-term loans, alright, times the long-term loans. Okay? So, click enter. Sorry.
So para hindi rin kayo malito guys, you can always use the dollar sign to lock the data. So equals, okay, to lock it. So let us lock long-term rate, all right, by putting dollar sign in the middle of the question. So let us put dollar sign, all right, and then asterisk or times the long-term loan. Okay, what's the purpose of the lock? So that the long-term rate will not change itself, okay, as we go on. Kasi, because we can simply, sorry, I forgot to put the negative pala. So let us put the negative first, negative, then enter. Okay, so once you lock the data, you can simply drag the data down. Yan. Okay? Sorry. Okay, so dapat pala i-lock mo rin pala tong kabila. So let us lock this one. Yeah. Okay? So once we lock the data, so remember the formula, okay? C3 and D11. Or we have to put a dollar sign so that it will be locked data. So the data will be locked, or and then you can drag it down. Okay? Remember, equals. All right, remember the formula? Get the loan rates, okay? Or times the long-term loan. Okay? To lock the data so that it will not change cells, all we have to do is to put dollar sign here and here, put dollar sign here so that the data will be locked. Right? So therefore, we have the long-term interest. Okay? Long-term interest was taken from the long-term rate times negative long-term rate times the long-term loan. Okay? So that's how we got the long-term loan. Okay, so now, to get the short-term loan naman, okay, to get the short-term loan, almost the same lang din siya, guys. Alright, so the formula is equals, okay, negative, get the short-term rate at 7% times, alright, the short-term loan. Alright, so please enter. Alright, or like what I said, you can always lock the data para hindi kayo manito. Put equals, alright, negative, alright, short-term loan, okay, let's times, okay, ST loan. Okay, let's put dollar sign to lock the data. Let's put the lock data, then press enter. Alright, so therefore you got negative 33, 35. Okay, all you have to do is to drag it down. Once you drag it down, okay, you can see the data was changing. Okay, yan. So nakalock siya. Guys, kapag nakalock siya, the data will not move. Okay, it means that you are locking that the main data is this one. Okay, that's why you put a lock data or the dollar sign. Okay, next part. All right, so we have the long-term payback. So to get the long-term payback, all we have to do is to put equals negative long-term loan. Then press enter. Okay, to get the long-term payback, all we have to do is to click negative equals negative and then click on the long-term loans. Then press enter. So once you have this, you got the long-term loan of negative 6. Okay, guys, do not be confused. We are still using the formula so that we can easily put the solver at the end. Okay, so now this one, let's put the short-term payback. Okay, this is easy also. All you have to do is to put equals, put negative, then click on this one. All right, then press enter. All right, or you can simply, paano ito, equals, put negative, click on this one, then enter. So to make it pass, okay, you can always drag it down. Yan. Do not be confused, like what I said. Okay, we still putting up the data. Okay, yeah. So now we have the short-term payback. All right, we are almost done. We are almost complete with the data. So next thing is we do the ending balance. To get the ending balance, all we have to do is to go to the first thing. Pag dito kayo sa first, we have to get the starting balance. So we have to put equals. All right, get the starting balance. The starting balance is here. Okay, then plus. All right, put sum. Okay, open parenthesis. All you have to do is to highlight the data from cash flow up to the short-term payback. Then close parenthesis. All right, enter. Okay. Para hindi malito. Okay, let me just repeat it again. So equals. Since this is the first, so 2024 is the first data, so we got the initial balance. So it is the start balance. Okay. then plus sum plus, all right, put sum, open parenthesis, then highlight the data from cash flow to short-term payback, then close parenthesis, press enter. Alright, so did you have a beginning balance of 1? So yan, ito yung starting balance natin. Alright, and then this is from the here. Alright, so here's the tricky part. Okay, if the starting balance starts here, therefore, for the year 2025, it starts here in year 2024. Okay, so the starting balance here will be from the year 2024. So to do the formula, equals, alright, imbis na before you get the starting balance, this time, you get the starting balance from the year 2024. So you click this one, alright, put plus, okay, sum, open parenthesis, highlight the year 2025 from cash flow to short-term loan. So then, press enter, enter. Alright, okay, so let me just repeat it again. So equals, alright, get the starting balance here from the year 2025, put plus, type sum, open parenthesis, let's add the raw data. Okay, then close parenthesis, enter. Alright, so let me just repeat it again, equals, okay, the starting data, this is the starting data, okay, put plus, sum, open parenthesis, alright, highlight the raw data, alright, and then close parenthesis, enter. Alright, or you can simply drag it down, okay, drag mo pababa. When you drag it down, it will also follow the data. Okay? Wait lang, may mali. There's something wrong with the data. Okay, so here's, dito nagkamali. 11. Let me just see it. Formula here is equals. Alright, so let's get this one, the starting data. Okay, plus sum, open parenthesis. Let us highlight the data here, up to here, then close parenthesis, enter. Okay, yung sa nagkamali. Wait lang ha, guys ha. Tama naman yung data. 0.56, 26. Wait lang. Tama naman. Tama naman yung data. Okay. So guys, this is the objective. So this is the last data. So all you have to do is put the color coding here. So the color is color orange. Palagay natin yung color orange. That's the color orange. Supposed to be, guys, the answer here is 6.51. But here, I don't know why, but the formula is correct. Okay, the formula is correct. Okay. Okay, kita ko na yung mali. Ayan, so this is the wrong input. So it should be same as this one. So therefore, the last balance is at 6.51. So this is the ending balance from the year 2024 up to the year 2031. All right? Okay, next part is we do the minimum balance. So as you can see here, the minimum balance is already given. All we have to do is to put equals. All right, get the minimum balance, then press enter. All right? Okay? Pwede mo yung i-drag down. All right, because it is all the same. Okay, let's just put this one, drag it down. Then we have all right, so para hindi magkamali, okay, all we have to do is to put lock. All right, lock natin. All right, C7, we put $, enter. So that when we drag it down, it will not change. Okay, let's drag it down. Yeah. All right. So therefore, we have the complete data here. All right. So remember, this is the objective. This is the changing cells. All right. And then the constraint. All right. The constraint is we get the ending balance and the minimum balance. Okay. This is the minimum balance. The data that was given to us. Later yung video, I'll upload it later on. Okay, so let us upload. So today, so we have all the data here. So the next things first that we are going to do is to do the solver. Okay, let's do the solver. So this is the original data that we have. Okay, so let's do the solver. So let us put solver. Let me just clear out everything. Reset all ko lang. All right, when I click everything, so let me just put the objective. Remember, this is the objective since this is the last data. Okay, that is the objective. All right, let's click max. The changing cell is this one, so 6. All right, this is only one, so comma nyo lang agad, comma, and then click highlight the SD loans. Yan. All right, so once you have this one, so all you have to do is to add the constraint. So the constraint that we are looking at is the ending balance. So the ending balance is here. All right, and then the constraint is here. All right, so remember to change the maximum. So as of now, this is maximum. So let's change it to minimum, min-max. All right, and then click on add. All right, so once we click on add, let's just click cancel. So we can see the constraint here already. Okay, then click this one and then choose simplex LP. All right, so once we click it, so all we have to do is to click solve. All right, so once we click solve, we will see the answer here. Then all we have to do is to click OK. Okay, so guys, do not be confused if there are a lot of decimal point here. All we have to do is to clean up the data. So once we come up with this, all we have to do is to clean up the data. So to clean up the data, I just only need to see 2 decimal places at a time. So let's just clean this up. So all you have to do is to highlight this one, click this one, okay, this part. Okay, click mo lang to. So lahat magiging second 2 decimal places only. So same thing here. Yan, let's click it here para 2 decimal places lang din. All of this also, click lang natin for 2 decimal places. Same thing here, 2 decimal places. Yan, and then for this 2 also, 2 decimal places. Ayan. So yeah. So therefore, this is a complete data right now what you are seeing. So using the solver, we come up with a maximum minimum cash of Everglade is at 5.39 million. So this is the minimum cash flow of Everglade. All right. So yeah, so that's how we use the solver using this formula. Oh guys, so remember to use this, you can always copy paste this data. All you have to do is to clear up lang itong mga data na to para hindi na kayo malilito guys. Okay, clear up the data so that everything is in place. All you have to do is to change the given data. So usually these are the given data. So let's clean this up. Okay, clean this up lang muna natin. Yan. So this is the cleaned data here. Okay, all you have to do is to input the data. Once you input the data, the formula is already here. It's already set. Okay, the formula is already set. Okay, so yeah, so clean up ng data and then the formula is already here. You can simply copy paste this and then put on the data. Therefore, you will have your ending balance at the end. All right, so this is how we do the solver. Okay, with solver with the cash flow. Okay, so another thing about here to check if you did this correctly. Okay, so back lang natin to, back. Yeah. So to check this correctly, all we have to do is to go to formulas. Okay, click on formulas. Okay, as you can see here in the formulas, you can see a formula auditing. Okay, the purpose of this is to check where does this formula came from, or simply we call it toggle. All right, we call it toggle. All right, so let's check. So let's see where does long-term loan came from. Okay, so all we have to do is to click this one, highlight nyo lang yan, then click on trace dependent. Once you click trace dependent, an arrow will appear. Alright. Okay? As you can see here, all of this data came here from the long-term loan. Okay? O same thing here din dito. Okay, let's highlight this one also. This one. Okay, so yes. Okay, so let's click on trace descendant also. You can see here where it came from. Same thing with SD rate. Click on trace descendant. Ayan. Kikita nyo lahat. Everything that they are connected with. Okay, it's already being used an arrow. They are already using an arrow. Same thing din dito. There is also a trace dependent here. Alright, you can see the data here also. Yeah. So if you want to remove the arrows, all you have to do is to click remove arrow. Alright, so yeah. So therefore, this is the solver. Okay, this is how you do the solver using weekly spreadsheet. So the topic is the art of spreadsheet model. Okay, so yeah, so that's all about the using the Excel file. When this is about using the Excel file, all right, in a perfect spreadsheet type. Okay? So let's go back to our topic. Okay, so wait lang, I'm just going to share the screen again. Okay, share ko lang. Yon. Alright, so guys, para hindi kayo malito, you can always come back to my PowerPoint. As you can see here in the PowerPoint, you can already see here the formula also. Okay, click on that. The formula is already here. Okay, so that you will not be lost. Okay, along with the video that I'll be sending later on. Alright, so tandaan niyo, these are all the data that you will be seeing here, there. Okay, you can test it by using the zeros. Large, all data numbers are already here. Alright, so yeah, so this is the data solver without the solver. Okay, these are the data input without the solver. Once you have it the solver, this will be your final data. Look at here, it's at 5.39. Okay, so yan yung data. This is what we have done a while ago. Alright, this is what we have done a while ago. Alright, so these are the guidelines in building a very good spreadsheet. Number one, we have to enter the data first. That's what we have done a while ago. Alright, all the given data from the spreadsheet, just put it there. Okay, all you have to do is to set the model. Once you set the model, put everything, put the given data there already. Once you put the data, you have to organize it. You have to identify the data. So you have to put the formulas. Okay, put the formulas for each data. Okay, so that you can label it, put the units and identify it. And lastly, we have to enter each pieces of data into the cell on. Okay, so yan. So this is the guideline for making a good spreadsheet. Okay, so in building a spreadsheet, you have to separate the data from formulas. Okay, to avoid putting numbers directly into the formula, okay, put the numbers in the data cells and refer to them as needed. This make all data visible, easier to modify. Okay, remember in making a good spreadsheet, keep it simple. Avoid power function in Excel. Okay, to determine it, just put color coding. Remember for data cells, put blue or gray. Okay, from the objectives, put orange. From the changing cell, put yellow. Okay, so that you will not be lost when you are going to type down the Excel data. Okay, so yan ang that's building a good spreadsheet. Ayan. So other relative absolute reference to simplify the copy. You can always copy the formula. Okay? All you have to do is to change the given data. Yun lang ang gagawin nyo doon, guys. Okay? Para mas mabilis. Okay? But you can always memorize the formula so that you will not be lost. Okay? If in case the formula will not work, you know where does the mistake came from. Okay? So you always look at your formula. Remember the color coding that we have? Data cells are blue or no borders at all. Okay lang yan. Changing cell are yellow. Okay? And then, objective is always at orange. Okay? Show to enter sa spreadsheet model. All data should be visible. On constraint must be in the spreadsheet, not blurred. Alright? And preferably 3 consecutive cells. Okay? So, yan yung mga guidelines in making a good spreadsheet data. Okay? So, next thing, you have to test the data. Okay? Check the element. Use the constraint data. Okay, tignan niyo, check everything so that you will not make a mistake while you are changing the data cells, the changing cells, the objectives, and etc. So you have to look at the data and then test it. Test using the solver. If you weren't able to get the proper answer in the solver, i-X nyo lang yung previous niyo, gumawa kayo ulit ng panibago so that you can have a perfect solver and perfect spreadsheet for your data. Okay? So here are some of the bad data sheet, poor or bad spreadsheet. Okay, makikita nyo dyan, the data is just, nakaano lang siya, nakalagay lang. But no formulas at all, or just they put formula here, but they did not put every data that was needed. So this is an example of a poor spreadsheet. Alright, so kanina, this is what we have done a while ago, the debugging the toggle, the one that we use, the audit in the spreadsheet. Okay, ito yung ginawa natin. Ayan. So if you want to look at where does the data came from, all you have to do is to click audit. Alright, and then you will see where does the data came from. Alright, so yeah, so that's the best way to making a good spreadsheet model.